Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 375. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Rosenstruck versus Gaziv. This is the prelims, so it's Eryk Anders versus Jamie Pickett, and the rest of the prelims are going to break all the fights down round by round, talk about what happened. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way you know the next video is coming out. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate that if you like the video. Let's talk about some fights. All right. Man, there were so many good fights. There were potentially good fights, and they turned out to be... the main card was kind of a stinker. It was up and down, right? There were some interesting things, and then but watch it leading up to it. Like, there was some really fun knockouts, some fun striking matches. This one was not that. I mean, it wasn't horrible, right? I didn't hate it, but there was lots of just holding. Anders is pressuring in, able to control in the clinch for a bit, but nothing. Eryk Anders versus Jamie Pickett is the first fight. So, nobody really landing anything for a while, right? Pickett takes a couple of jabs and then plants his feet and lands a nasty right hand. It's the first big shot of the fight landing from Pickett. Pickett lands a right hand to drop Anders, but can't control him on the ground. Anders gets on top. Anders had a ton of control time, but Pickett did the damage for those two shots in this round, right? He had 2 minutes and 42 seconds of control time, but he got outlanded 8-7. This is a classic one. Like, Pickett did more damage. End of story. That should be the end of it, right? We saw other fights on the main card that didn't go that way, but 10-9 to Pickett. Second round here, Anders' strategy to push forward, maybe land a left hand and then clinch, right? This is what he wants to do, kind of like Gaziv was trying to do in the main event, but Anders was much more successful at it, avoiding the big shots coming back from Pickett. 2 minutes and 50 seconds of control time for him. Anders finally able to get the takedown with some control, laces the legs up. It's enough for him to win the round. He outstruck him, or he got outstruck again 11-10, but none of those were big shots coming back from Pickett. So none of them outweighed the amount of damage that Anders did, and then the control time went to Anders. Easy peasy. 19-19 going to the third here. Anders keeps forcing Pickett to the fence. Pickett throws, but just can't keep him off. And then Anders able to dominate in the grappling exchanges through the whole round. Gets the win, 29-28. Striking numbers here, 6-1, but really it was 4 minutes and 29 seconds of control time for Anders. It's one of those things where, let's look at the scorecards here. All three judges gave Pickett that first round. That's how I had it there. Clearly, Sal D'Amato and Junichiro Kamijo. And then all three judges also gave the next two rounds to Anders. That is correct. That's how it should be scored. Not that I am the end-all, be-all, but I think that was pretty objective. So, not the most interesting fight. I wish Pickett could just get his shit together. I think he might have retired after this, but God, he had so much potential. And you could see it in that fight, too. That right hand that he landed twice in that first round. No follow-up, the fact that he leaned back, he walked straight backwards. So frustrating. I love watching him fight, but it's frustrating, man. Vinicius Oliveira versus Benardo. Sopaj, that's how you pronounce it. Sopaj winding up and trying to land that big right hand. Neither guy landing anything for the first minute. Oliveira, the low kicks are harder, and he's landing enough that are messing with Sopaj. Sopaj times a takedown during a spinning attack from Oliveira, landing a couple shots of his own on the ground. Sopaj pressures forward. He finds openings and lands, but when Oliveira lands a low kick, it stops everything, right? So Sopaj did outland him here 14-7. And a pretty takedown from Sopaj, landing some ground and pound to the end of the round. I just felt like he was never safe. I thought that Oliveira was going to find his mark eventually, but Sopaj was able to get it done in this round, in my opinion. I felt like he won it 10-9. Second round, Oliveira counters a takedown, but then gets countered himself. Sopaj finds his way on top and stays on the top for a ton of this round, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Oliveira does switch it around and gets on top at the end of the round there. Oliveira counters, Sopaj gets, Oliveira was on top, landing some ground and pound to the end of the round. I thought that he did enough damage with those shots, even though he was outlanded 18-17, and the control time went in favor of Sopaj. Those big shots from Oliveira, I felt like, focus. I felt like they did more than enough to even the things up and actually swing it in his direction. So I had it 19-19 going to the third. Oliveira's throwing wild hooks, hard kicks, but missing huge. Oliveira finding the mark with some right hands. Sopaj not looking good. Still trying to throw back, but he clearly was out of it. Look at the striking numbers here, 43-13. Oliveira was looking, he could end this fight just by throwing leg kicks, but he was looking for a big, he was looking for a big highlight finish. He was throwing big right hooks, everything hard. And, Sopaj looked tired and defeated. And finally, with a minute 45 left, Oliveira lands some low kicks again, keeps throwing wild punches, landing them, but Sopaj just would not. I thought he would just drop from the low kicks if he kept throwing them. Throws a low kick. Sopaj turns around to try and regain his balancing exit and isn't really paying attention with his hands down, and then that's when Oliveira runs up and flying knees him into oblivion. Beautiful shot, by the way, but unnecessary, totally stupid. I'm not mad at him. I just, that didn't need to happen. The referee could have called that fight earlier than that. That was stupid. The guy was literally just looking for a highlight knockout. That's all he was doing for the last, 2 minutes of that fight. That's all he was doing. Really frustrating to watch. Fun knockout, but Aiemann Zahabi versus Javid Basharat. I hope there's no controversy over this one. Seemed pretty cut and dry to me. Basharat trying to close the cage off with kicks as Zahabi circling the outside. Zahabi is using the blitz to get into range and throwing big overhand rights, missing a lot of them, and then land the lead hook, finding the mark once in a while, right? But he just wasn't able to land those big shots. Basharat's just putting more out there. The kicks are good, keeping Zahabi on the outside. Basharat he was not looking to get in exchanges. Anytime Zahabi would move in, Basharat would exit and then re-engage with the kicks. He exits really well, avoiding of the damage. 14-12 in favor of Basharat. He did more. Second round, little different here. Basharat's going up top with the kicks, using the kicks of the body and the legs, mixing it up, hitting so well. Zahabi just doesn't have enough output because when he lands, Basharat hates it. He starts to pick it up as the round goes on. Zahabi's countering well with the wide 2-3, finding the mark, forcing Basharat to back up when he goes. Zahabi landed the hard right hand. Basharat staggers, and he landed the bigger shots in this round. Look at this. Look at the numbers in the second round: 28-26 in favor of Basharat. But bigger shots came from Zahabi. He did more damage. I think this was a clear round for Zahabi. Close round, but clear. Right. Second round. Eye poke from Basharat to start the round. Not a horrible one. They just start going. Slower start to the round. Not a ton of output from either guy, and Zahabi does land the bigger shots when they exchange. Basharat landed to the body with the kicks. Zahabi landing the left hand as he retreats. If either guy lands a big shot in this round, it would be their win for sure. Zahabi finding the mark with multiple jabs in the right hand from Basharat, and then Zahabi's outlanding him this round. He just was putting more out there. Zahabi keeping pressure on Basharat, looking faded a bit. That's Zahabi's fight. He outlanded him here 37-25. I thought he fought a very smart fight. Basharat's pissed off, but he really didn't land anything hard in that second round. I don't think he didn't land anything hard in that third round. That's for damn sure. All three judges saw it the same way. Derek Clearly, Sal D'Amato, and Brian Minner. First round to Basharat, next two rounds to Zahabi. I don't think that's controversial. If you guys disagree, explain down below how you thought, right? Don't just say I'm stupid, because that doesn't get us anywhere. Let me know why you thought while watching it live. Don't go look at numbers afterwards, because you don't have that when you're watching it live, right? Judges don't have that. So watching it live, what did you see from Basharat in that second round that gave it to you? Like, did you think the damage was even because of his forward pressure? Maybe. I thought the pressure was relatively even, but let me know what you guys thought. All right. Man, we're flying through these, huh? Christian Leroy Duncan, CLD versus Claudio Ribeiro. Ribeiro is known for his knockouts, but just looked like a punching dummy out there. Duncan with the nice jab and low kicks, looking smooth. Ribeiro loading up, missing big. Ribeiro is shelling up, looking to take a shot on the arms and then counter. Then he kind of just stopped countering. Duncan bouncing around. Ribeiro just using the high shell and waiting. The guy was literally standing there like this for most of the first round and then the entirety of the second round. So much so that Duncan was able to grab the wrists like people do on the ground, right? People grab the wrist, and then they come over the top with the elbow. He was doing that standing, and he was fighting Ribeiro. Ribeiro was holding his guard so tight that he had to actively pull really hard to get the guard away. It was odd to see. Ribeiro didn't do anything significant in this round. He landed 3 shots, 41-3 in favor of Duncan. Clearly a 10-9 round. Second round, Ribeiro thinks this round will go differently if he just runs across the cage swinging big hooks. The benefit of hindsight, it obviously didn't. He throws big hooks and then nothing, gets taken down right into, Duncan gets right into mount, lands some good elbows. Ribeiro gives nothing back, and then Duncan keeps firing away till the end of the round. He gets it back, and then, that's the end of it. Duncan looks really good. I want to see him stepped up in competition because this is, he's not the youngest guy, and I want to see what he can do. He's got a lot of skills, man. All right, Ludovit Klein versus AJ Cunningham. It's unfortunate debut. Klein goes up top with the head kick in the exchange, but Cunningham goes off balance from the kick, and Klein ends up on top for a second. Does a little bit of ground and pound, not much. Klein has such a nasty. He's such a nasty striker. All the things he lands hurt. The jab, the hooks to the body, the kicks, everything he's throwing hurts so bad. Cunningham is having success with the low kicks and the body kicks, but just not in range for his hands most of the time. Klein finding the mark with the extended combos, taking a shot in return, but throwing so much more out there, right? Cunningham was throwing back, and if you look at these bars, it's deceiving, but it's 60-36 in favor of Klein. Cunningham has a chin. He's taken a ton of damage standing in the pocket, giving himself a chance to land back, but Klein's eating him on the chin too and just throwing back 3 more shots. Klein lands a stabbing kick to the body, and that's what finally does it. Cunningham is tough as shit. Fighting up a weight class on 4 days' notice. Absolute gangster for doing that. I think going forward, I think he's going to be a tough guy to put away, especially in the lower weight class, as long as his chin holds up. That's going to be a tough dude. If Ludovit Klein can't do it with the shots that he was landing, that's going to carry him a little bit of ways. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady versus Loik Radzhabov. Those are names that I hopefully pronounced correct, and if I didn't, I apologize. Hard low kick from Al-Selwady. Al-Selwady is using a ton of circular movement, throwing those low kicks out there. The way that the commentary, I was so... when I heard them commenting on this one, I'm like, oh, here we go. It's one of these nights where all the people who train at DC's place, or people who train or know or whatever, we're going to just fucking hear about it all night. Because how good this guy is and everything that he's doing. Because the way they were talking was talking about Al-Selwady, he's doing everything right in this fight. He's using a ton of circular movement and throwing those low kicks out there. Radzhabov landing 2 really nice right straight hands as he presses in, and Al-Selwady wants no part of it and clinches up. Anytime Radzhabov lands, Al-Selwady wants no part. Right? He goes down, and then he uses the fence grab to stand up at one point. Both guys get warned about grabbing the cage. That was really silly. Radzhabov landing the bigger shots in this round, having more more control for sure. 14-12 in favor of Radzhabov for the striking numbers in that first round. Thought it was clearly his round, 10-9. Second round, Radzhabov walking through the leg kicks to land the hooks. Radzhabov attempts a flying knee out of nowhere and takes a right hand for it. I don't know what he was doing. I thought if he would just settle down, then Selwady would have to back up, and that's where he was having success, right? Pushing him on the back foot, making him circle. Al-Selwady is doing a lot more just running all over the place, throwing big overhands and attempting the takedown. So as long as he avoids the big shots coming back at him, he can overwhelm him, just win on volumes like he did this round, 22-12. I hit it 19-19 going to the third. Radzhabov goes for the takedown, lands a right hand, and Al-Selwady still fresh, bouncing around. Radzhabov landing a right hand yet again. Al-Selwady goes down, and that's it. I can't say I'm surprised, right? With the way Al-Selwady was reacting to every single punch in that fight, they were talking about it like Al-Selwady had this one in the bag and all he needed to do. I thought, and they were talking about how Radzhabov looked tired. He was outstriking him in that last round anyway. He was outstriking him in that last round. I thought in that second round, Al-Selwady was playing a dangerous game every time he would move into strike. I think if he could have got if he could have got a takedown with some control, maybe poke and prod, but not engage the way he did. You say whatever you want. I think he's clearly got some skills, but Radzhabov exposed, like, he does not have a chin. Radzhabov did land hard, but like early on in the fight when he landed with a jab, like Al-Selwady didn't like it. So I don't know how he's going to hang up in this division. How he's going to hang in this division, not hang up. Especially at lightweight. You got to be one of the best in the world to hang at lightweight in the UFC. Just the way it is. All right, that is it. Quick videos this week. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of controversy. Relatively clean. Not a lot of fouls either. So not a lot to really break down as far as nasty stuff. So appreciate y'all for stopping by. Subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. That way you know the next video is coming out, and it helps me out too. Like the video or click the like button if you like the video. I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing week. Love y'all.